funny thing. There are a lot of similarities between forming a band and forming a bootstrap startup because your ability to gather people around you and to motivate them is only based on vision, cause, and interaction.
Welcome to our series entitled The IAM Podcast, a podcast about innovation, business, and most importantly, people. In this series, we'll be talking to founders, executives, and various experts about their vision, challenges, best practices, and lessons learned throughout their journey. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the IAM Podcast. Today, I am very excited. I'm joined by the co-founder and the co-CEO at Insurights, Ben Nagar. Hey, Ben.
Hi. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Yes. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever we are or wherever they're watching us. How are you doing? And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a show.
Okay. So we are excited. We can't wait. Please give us a brief background of your personal, of your career, your experience, your expertise.
All right, I would love to. I'm the type of person that changes his focus from time to time every few years. So right now I'm co-founder and co-CEO at Insurights, a health tech startup based in Tel Aviv and New York. I joined Insurights about a year and a half ago in the summer of 2020. Before that, I had another company, which I was the CEO at, called Tene. We did automated actuarial calculations and data mining for the purpose of financial stability and resilience of households. We did a kind of a risk management and insurance solution integration into one platform. And we sold it by the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, just before the COVID first got to Israel. So we had a good timing over there. Before that, I had another startup in 2011, background in computer science and economics, mostly economics. And just before that, I was a pilot in the Israeli Air Force, a heavy lifting helicopter pilot. And in the middle, I had the opportunity to have a band with a few of my friends, and we recorded an album. So I've been a musician all my life, and I think this is something that threaded into my development along the way.
Wow, that's really interesting, but we will get with that later. But I'm here. You said it isn't your first startup, and during the last conversation, you shared something like beginner mistakes. So we'd love to hear that and learn from you.
The funny thing about beginner mistakes is that you're always a beginner and you always make mistakes. Even if you don't consider yourself a beginner, and even if you have 20 years experience in something, you will always make mistake. And I think that being a beginner, what the differentiation between being a beginner and being more experienced with something is the ability to have the understanding that everyone makes mistakes. And the idea is, how do you learn from your mistakes, improve, and repeat as few mistakes as possible? So, for example, in our first company in 2011, we were so young, and the thing that actually almost stopped us from advancing is that we were way too focused on what our competitors are doing in comparison to what we're doing and how do they advance. And we did it not from a constructive approach of saying, hey, there's so many opportunities. We just need to look at our competitors and see that they're taking advantage of those opportunities and leverage them. And instead of that, what we did was being stressed by the fact that our competitors are moving forward, and it actually delayed us. So this is a good example of something that happened back then. And right now in the current company, we're having a very different approach to it.
Oh, interesting. Like you said, different kind of approach. So please talk to us about your co-founders. I think you're the last founder who joined Insurights, right? So please talk to us about that, your relationship with your co-founders and how this idea came about.
I think that it would be fair to say that this idea came or is coming in thousands of minds simultaneously. And the thing that was interesting here is that someone just took the glove off the floor and made a conscious decision that he wants to address the problem, even though a lot of people think of the problem and think of possibilities and possible ideas. And Elado Fear, one of my co-founders, which is a doctor, was the one that had the idea to say, okay, there's a problem, but there's a way to solve it. And the only idea of solving it is providing trust and education and user experience in order to improve customers' experience with interacting with the healthcare domain and the health insurance domain. And he came up with the idea and he assembled Guy Benjamin and Ben Goldenberg, two of the co-founders as well, around the idea. And they started actually thinking about the solution. And the solution is changing as we go all the time. But the basic idea remains the same. We want to empower people to be responsible for their health and to have the ability to actually take ownership and control their own health.
Yes, I saw the statistics on your website. Like 50% of employees will look for new jobs if they're not satisfied. 66% want help navigating their health insurance benefits. 60%, what's that? Avoid treatment because they're not sure if they're covered. And 78% will stay with the company if they have very good benefits. So can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. The US market has some unique specifications and differentiations from other healthcare markets in the world. Based on the economic system, the US as a country don't provide that much of a social security and health security layer to the citizens of the US. So basically, the US citizens needs to pay for the entire cost of their healthcare services and pharmacy needs. And they pay the entire amount. There's not like an accumulated layer of somewhat of a social security that supports them financially. And what it actually creates a huge barrier, a cost barrier between people and their ability to receive medical treatment and medical evaluation. And it became that complex, and obviously no society can survive with people not receiving medical treatment, right? So the practice that was established is that employers provide medical insurance for employees. And the interesting thing is that the fact that this is the second highest cost for employers in the US after labor. It's more costly than platform costs. It's more costly than any other thing that employer I wouldn't say spending money, but actually investing money in, because their return is the employee's satisfaction and health, which is a huge component in a company's ability to succeed. And the cost rise up to around $8,000 to $15,000 per employee and their family members per year. So you can estimate how costly it is. But the fact is that 66% out of the employees would say that they don't feel like they have actual understanding of what they're covered for, and they don't know how to utilize their benefits. So the weird situation is that once you have employers paying a lot of money for health benefits and health insurance, and on the other hand, you have low satisfaction and low utilization of health benefits from the side of the employees. And what it leads to is to a situation in which employees, one, are not satisfied with what they're already having, and their employers are paying a lot of money. And two, it actually leads to poor health because people that are avoiding, for example, the annual screening that they need to do has a higher probability of finding out about critical medical situation in a late stage. And this is something that really can impact the company, it can impact the people, their family members.
Yeah. I agree. Like it has a very good effect in the long term or, as a nation. So is this the reason why you said every kid at the age of 8 wants to become wants to work in the insurance industry?
I would say the exact opposite. I think that
Oh.
the interesting thing about insurance industry is that most of the people in this industry didn't have the dream of becoming an insurance expert. Most of the kids are dreaming about being firemen and being doctors and being leaders and stuff and being artists. But not a lot of people, a lot of kids, if you'll ask them, would say, yes, my dream is to become an insurance leader or a healthcare leader. And it makes sense.
Okay. So the benefit is for the insurance industry. And this is the problem that you're trying to solve, right? So patients or employees can easily select doctors, right? They have instant coverage info, the cost savings, and seamless appointment booking. Has anyone come to you and tell you, okay, it was great to know everything?
Yes, everyone. It's
Everyone.
amazing. Yeah, I think that the wonderful thing about what we're doing is that there's almost no need to explain the need because people can instantly relate to the understanding of the value that what we're doing can provide them because they experience it on a regular basis. And what we're trying to do and what we're building, we're doing a lot of things, but the main high level focus is that we want to import the entire customer journey, healthcare customer journey into one place because no one ever said that they like to have 50 different apps on their mobile phone for the same usage of interacting with the healthcare system. So we're importing the entire process starting from open enrollment, going forward to the actual utilization of benefits, which we do both reactively and proactively, because I would assume and I would argue that people want to be healthy, but no one likes to invest too much time on their attempts to become as healthy as possible for as long as possible. So we're taking that role for them. We're proactively helping them become healthy. And later on, you need to find out information about providers, coverage, about procedures. You want to go to the best doctors because your health actually is correlated with the proficiency level of the medical providers that you're going to. After that, you need to set an appointment. And when you go to an appointment, you need to know as much as possible before the appointment because not all the time doctors have the capability and the capacity to provide you with all the explanation required for you. Because I think that we can all relate to this feeling of coming to the doctor office, asking questions, receiving answers, and then going out of the office and 20 more questions come into our mind and we don't have any address that we can actually ask those questions. So later on, it includes the bills and the claims management, because there are a lot of mistakes that we want to find out and help customers reduce costs based on health plan bills analysis. And actually, this is the entire process in a nutshell, or the entire journey.
I think everyone can relate to that, like going into the doctor's office and then going out with still a lot of questions. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I had this poll, right? Like how you can clearly communicate your vision. And you said, tell your story. By the way, it got 48%. So almost half of CEOs believe that you should tell your story. So we want to hear your vision.
I'll share my vision from a personal point of view. I think that a personal story always helps understanding what got me into this point, and how do I look at the future, and what do we want to do. So I'll start with the fact that the story begins in a bit of a tragic or sad manner, but it has a good ending, and everybody are healthy at the end of the story. And the story begins in 2017. I was managing the previous company. We had a lot of data on customers. We had about 40,000 end users. And we knew we had data about the financial stability, about their insurance coverage, data about the customer themselves and their history. And we had the ability to provide them with data and provide them and interact with them with relatively a high trust environment. And in 2017, almost simultaneously, my sister found out that she has lymphoma cancer, and my niece, my sister-in-law's daughter, which was a 7-month-old baby, found out that she had a leukemia cancer, and they're both healthy now, and it's okay. But the point of the story, I had the rare opportunity to see two families dealing with a similar oncologist situation, medical situation, and see the impact of their financial stability, the family's financial stability, on the family ability to overcome the challenge of having a critical illness case in the family. And those differences got me to the understanding that we need to analyze our customers' financial stability, and we need to check the correlations between financial stability of a household during a critical illness case and the impact that it has on the ability of the family to recover, both physically and mentally. So we went out to one of the biggest research facilities in Israel, and we conducted summary research that helps us understand the exact correlation and the impact of financial stability on survival rate and mental health survival rate on oncologist patients. And we took this entire analysis and we integrated it with our database. And it helped us mapping amongst the 140,000 customers that we have. It helped us map all the relevant people and households that don't have the financial stability to overcome an oncologist situation in the family. What we did next is we negotiated with the insurance industry about a coverage, an affordable and smart solution that we can deliver to our customers. And once we're done with this, we actually represented 140 people's buying power. So we had the ability to receive very good commercial rates. And we went out with a marketing campaign to our customers. And we told them, these are the results that we found through researches. This is the solutions that we advise you to get. It costs less than 1 cup of coffee per month. It's around $1 per month per member. And we know that you are in high risk, and this can actually improve your survival rate. And it was a huge campaign, both physically and digital and guerrilla marketing. And the result were amazing. And we had the opportunity and the privilege to actually impact thousands of households that got this coverage. And later on in 2018, and even as we speak, I still receive updates about claims in this case of this project that comes from this project's coverage. And I know that every claim represents a household that we, by leveraging data and leveraging our approach and the trust that we have with our customers, we had the opportunity to significantly improve their survival rate, health and mental health survival rate. And it's something I think that not a lot of people can say that their day-to-day job has the potential to have this impact. And what we're doing in Insurights is leveraging the same concepts, but on a much larger scale and much larger reach. And we're taking this as a continuous approach and not based on a specific project. Everything that we do is focused on improving our customers' long-term health and survival rate, and even their experience. And I think this is something beautiful.
Yeah, yes, definitely. First, I am so happy to hear that both of your loved ones are really well and healthy. And I remember, like, we once guested Elad, and he also like, okay, my father had this experience, so I put up this one. So yeah, I think it's a need. There's really a pain, right? So you founded Insurights and you bootstrapped, right? How many years did you bootstrap, and how was it like?
It's a funny thing. There are a lot of similarities between forming a band and forming a bootstrap startup, because your ability to gather people around you and to motivate them is only based on vision, cause, and interaction. You don't have any financial benefits that you can provide them. You know that people are sacrificing their time for the cause, and it is all based on vision and on belief. And Insurights was founded as a bootstrap startup. Elad and Guy gathered a team of around 10 people around them, which is amazing in this industry, because talented people are a rare resource, even when they get paid. And having the ability to harness people and gather them around an idea without having the ability to actually pay is something beautiful. And there was a team of 10 people that worked together for almost a year until we got the first funding. And I think that most of this is based on Elad and Guy's and Ben Gold's ability to motivate people. And when I joined, I contribute my own share to this process.
Interesting. Okay, I can't wait to ask about the band, but I'll hold it. I'll ask first your market. So, who are you offering Insurights?
Great question. The beautiful thing about what we're doing is that we're actually addressing almost everyone. There is a market of around 160 million employees and family members that are covered through employer-sponsored health plans in the US. And obviously it applies and it's relevant to all industries. I would argue and say that our end customers will probably, or our early adopters are mostly people with tech orientation, but I'm sure that this is only because these are the early stages and it's relevant for everyone. And even my grandfather is already using his mobile phone to connect with people, and he's almost 90. So I wouldn't put the age as a barrier. I would just claim that the market and the customer education require different lengths based on the tech approach. But the market is not limited to only employer-sponsored health plans. It is way wider than that. The market is wider than the US as well. Almost the same problem exists in various places in the world, and we already got traction, but we are super focused on leveraging our potential right now in the US market and expanding later on.
Okay. You have a big market and you also raised big funding last October. So 23 million, how do you plan to spend that? Is it product market fit or hiring or what?
Both, actually, both. And adding to that, we are great believers in market and customer traction. We think that everything should come directly from the market. Our ability to actually know what the market wants depends on us, on our ability to continuously communicate with the market, and not waiting for having like the right solution or the right product that we feel 100% confident with before we reach the market. We're always interacting with the market, and we're experiencing and we're aiming towards the highest rate of users' interactions and communication through the entire process of building the product. But if I would say what is the usage, I'm not a great believer in startup ecosystem that companies should be moving slow. I believe that if you work in this ecosystem, you should be focused on doing the best time-based performance possible. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to use all the resource immediately after you got them. But on the other hand, you need to leverage your resources, entire resources that you have, in order to move as fast as possible.
Yes. Speaking of moving, I read on your LinkedIn, like you don't need to do things just to justify to your investors or VCs. And you said you're fortunate to be backed up by some good VCs and investors. So could you share with us how's your relationship?
I think we have a very good relationship with our investors. I believe that they chose wisely, and we chose wisely as well. And we have a good fit, and it's not something that we take for granted. It's not always the situation. Having the right fit between founders and VCs. I would say that there's like a span of approaches towards the relationship between founders and investors. My approach is that investors are our partners 100%, and they can help us with understanding things that we can understand and with learning things, and they have extensive experience in a way wider frame than we have, because we are super focused on our venture, and they have the accessibility and the insight and the depth vision into various projects and ventures. But on the other hand, I believe that the one that needs to lead and manage their venture and their project and their vision are the co-founders, because we are as deep as possible in what we're doing. And for example, along the fundraising round, some of the investors that we met with told us that they won't invest in a company that has co-CEOs, that they don't believe in the model, that they think that co-CEOs won't be able to make decisions. And our answer to that was that we can totally understand what they're saying, and probably we are not the good fit for them, because we believe in a whole different thing. We believe that we have the ability to find out what is the best composition in the company, leadership composition. And we are talking about is all the time, what are the advantages of being co-CEOs and what are the disadvantages? And we truly and strongly believe that this is the right composition. It provides us with the ability to move way faster. It provides us the ability not to make mistakes by being dependent on a sole opinion, which is important because everyone makes mistakes, as we said in the beginning. And having two balanced opinions that comes from different background and different experience and different approach even, provide us with the ability to make less mistakes. And if I'm trying to summarize it into, okay, we can move faster and we can make less mistakes, and we know that it can work for us, I would argue that if an investor comes into the company for like a short visit of trying to consider whether he wants to invest in the company, and he's focused on you should change something that I don't have any understanding about the process of why you choose to do it, I would say that this definitely would help me understand that it might not be the right investor. And our straight answer was, this is the composition that we believe in. You're invited to join the journey if you believe in it as well. And if not, it's your choice. And you obviously have other companies that you might want to invest in, and you would believe that they have the ability to succeed better than we do.
Yeah. I mean, having co-CEOs, it's my first time to hear that. Well, we always hear co-founders, but co-CEOs. So in your part, it's working. So what are your core values that you find similar to your co-CEOs?
I would start by saying that we have different core values. We don't have to be aligned on everything. Actually, our differentiation is the source and the potential for our success. If we were exactly identical, it was a waste of time to have co-CEOs. So I would say that the best idea is to ask Guy what is his core values. And I can say my core values, but I'm a great believer in mutual empowerment. I think that people should come from point of view, we're all working teams all the time. Even if we're a single contributor or individual contributor to the company, we have multiple interactions. And in each one of the interactions, I think that we should think about not how do we compete and how do we personally excel. We should be focused on how do I provide the best environment and experience for my coworkers in order for them to succeed and excel. And if everyone will be focused on providing the right environment and the right empowerment for their co-workers to excel, I think this is a good way to build a place that had a good potential of success and have a good experience, employee experience and day-to-day work experience. So this is a core value that I'm a great believer on. Second thing is, move fast. Everyone make mistakes. Don't hesitate in doing something only because you fear the consequences and the mistakes that you can make along the way. We should be agile, not only in our product and development approach, we should be agile with our core personal approach. And if we think that something is right, we are all intelligent and we're all capable, and we should go with what we believe in. And it's okay to fail, and it's okay and important to learn and not to repeat on your mistakes. But moving fast and having the confidence to do what you believe in is something that is vital for an organization that want to create a disruptive impact. And the next thing would be transparency and honesty. Because definitely in the age of information that we live in, the age of information and sensors, the ability to sync people and that everyone has as much transparency into everything that is going on that they want to have. Not everyone wants to have full transparency to everything, and not everyone needs it. But everyone should have the ability to have full transparency in everything that is going on in the company. And I think that the three values are connected and threaded into each other, and they all provide the same meta goals. And the meta goals would be, how do we create a good experience, a day-to-day experience for everyone that are part of the company? And how do we leverage this experience to excel and to success and into goals and achieving our goals and overcoming our challenges.
Thank you for sharing those. And I'd like to ask you about you leading a band, being the singer. Yes, this is one final and important question. I checked your videos on YouTube. Oh, you really sing. So tell us about that.
I think that everyone can sing.
No? No, I'm kidding.
Seriously.
I'm kidding.
Everyone can sing. Everyone can sing. Singing is a way to express your emotions, and it's a way to reduce your stress and to have fun. There's no good consequences to singing. There's like bad consequences if you want to be a professional singer, in a sense of you want to make a living out of it. But if you just want to sing, go for it. This is a good thing to do.
Yeah, that's fair. But do you still do it? I mean, these days you're the CEO, you must be busy. So what?
I would say that about once a week, I take the guitar off the hangout wall, and I sing all the children's songs that my kids love. And this is like the highlight of my singing routine right now. And I love it. I love it way better than I used to love the performing in front of people.
Okay.
Because it's unfiltered. It's unfiltered, and they are the biggest, like they're the best audience that I can expect and I can have.
Yes, you should show them that YouTube video you did before. When was that? 2009.
Yeah. They've seen it. It was around, I think, 2013, 12, something like that. And they've seen it. I gotta say that they weren't that impressed. They are more impressed with Coco Melon videos, but it's okay. I'm not offended.
Okay, well, where can they reach you, Ben, for singing engagement? No, I'm kidding. So, if they would like to reach you, connect with you.
Best way to connect with me is through LinkedIn, obviously. Best method. And I had a lot of interesting conversation recently in LinkedIn. Do we have time for another short story?
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. So a junior developer approached me through LinkedIn and asked me whether do we have like open junior positions on our R&D. It was just about a few weeks after we already recruited 2 junior positions, so we didn't have any open position. But I asked her because from the way that she approached, it seems like she's a bit frustrated from the job searching process. And we talked a bit, and she explained me that she's applying to multiple job posts, but she doesn't really get any answers, and she don't know what to do better. And I told her about a story that one of the best employees in the company, didn't get to us through a job post. He just sent us a direct approach on LinkedIn, and he told us, "Hi, I read about what you're doing. I think it's amazing. I want to be a part of it. This is my experience. I'm in a junior position. I don't have a professional experience in anything, but this is a list of things that I know how to do." And we were really impressed with this outreach, and we set a meeting with him, and we were impressed by him as well, personally. And he joined the company less than a week after. And he's one of the best people in the company right now. He's a great leader. And when I told her about it, I said, I like 2 things about his approach. One, he wanted something and he went for it. He approached me directly, and I appreciate it. I think that's a type of quality that stands out from what he did. And the second thing, he understood that he tried to understand what is my position in the process, or our position, and what is his position. And he definitely find out that we have time is a scarce resource that we have. So he saved us a lot of interactions by just briefing us with all his capabilities and his experience. And it was so detailed that I almost, before I met him, I knew exactly who am I going to meet, what is his capabilities. And I advised her to do the same and to reach out to companies that recently got fundraising or have a lot of open positions. And those companies are looking for people, and it's hard to find the right people for companies right now. This is an employee market. Save their time, demonstrate your initiative and your approach. Be as clear as possible with what you think that you can do and what you can contribute. Show if you are connected to the cause. Show that you're connected to the cause. This is something important for employers. They want to have people that are connected to what they're doing. And that was around 4 weeks ago, I think. Right. And a few days ago, she sent me a message that she got to one of the jobs that she reached out to. And that was amazing. I think that was an amazing experience for both of us.
Wow. Yeah, that's an amazing story. So shout out to you if you're listening, and to all those who are trying to get a job, right? That's great tips from Ben. So reach out to him for more. Okay, well, I have to thank you very much for today, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for your time.
This podcast is powered by IAMOps.io. Optimize your cloud infrastructure and CI/CD process with IAMOps.io dedicated DevOps team. Check out www.iamops.io and get a DevOps team now. Make sure to check out www.iamops.io if you want to know more about us. Subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you, and you have a great day.